Is the PlayStation Portal worth it? Ever since it's been announced, that's been my main question, and I've really been wondering who this is for. And I think I just found my answer. Welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. On this channel, we talk all things video games and comic books. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode like this. Also, check out our Patreon, link will be down below. So as many of you know, I've expressed my thoughts on the PlayStation Portal when it was first announced.
Listen, the PlayStation Portable kinda sucks. Here's why.
A lot of people were and still are die-hard fans of the PlayStation Portal from the moment that it was announced. And many people didn't even stop to consider if this was even worth it or if it was actually going to be a real game changer. I've seen a lot of people arguing it, saying that this is going to be great, it's going to give you DualSense features, it's going to give you your own dedicated screen so that way you're not even hogging up your phone if you're using something like a backbone controller. And I'm going to be straight up honest, I have some opinions that I don't think a lot of people are going to enjoy. To this day, I still don't think it's worth it, nor is it even necessary for most people out there. Now, before you get your pitchforks out, hear me out, I have my reasons. So, whenever something new is announced, there are always going to be people that just run out and get the newest thing. I mean, it's like the same kind of person that gets the newest iPhone every single year just because they want to try out the newest features. So, that's not anything negative against them, it's just that there's people that are always going to support the newest thing. And as far as if there's people that even want this device, Sony clearly did their own research to figure out if it's actually going to be worth producing this kind of device, because honestly, it takes a lot of money for the research, the development, the marketing, and the continued software support. But the biggest thing that was holding me back, and still is that I kind of feel like this is pointless for a lot of people. Now, this isn't a blanket statement because there are definitely people that are really going to find value in this. But for me, and honestly, I think there's a lot of other people that are like me, that if you honestly think about it, this isn't really that much of a game changer. For starters, it's not an actual dedicated console, meaning that there's no games that are physically stored on it. It's completely dependent on two major things. You have to have a stable internet connection all the time, and it's completely dependent on the PlayStation. So the PlayStation can't be played at all if you are using the Portal. And so because of that, games can't be played offline, no one can use the PlayStation if you're on this using Remote Play. And if you're somebody that likes to use wireless gaming headsets, well, you're kind of screwed because you can only use the proprietary Sony headphones. And yes, I now know that this does come with an aux port. Man, you guys were relentless in the comments. Listen, I get the desire for wanting to have a dedicated mobile PlayStation way of being able to play your games. And honestly, what I think that they really should have announced was a newer generation PSP or even like a PS Vita where you can actually download the games onto the console. And who knows, maybe there will be a PlayStation Portal Pro coming out in the near future. That would be great. That's actually something that I would spend my money on. But for now, this is what we have. Honestly, one of the biggest things that I really don't like is that you literally cannot use your PlayStation, nor can anybody else use the PlayStation if you're using the Portal. Because all that the Portal is doing is literally just doing Remote Play, and so it's mimicking whatever is happening on the PlayStation. And so even if I'm in the bedroom playing the Portal and the PlayStation's in the living room, even if I'm not physically in front of the PlayStation using it, no one else can use the PlayStation. And so my biggest argument, at least in the past when I've talked about the Portal, was that you could get something like a backbone that allows you to just put in your phone and allows you to play the games and literally do the exact same thing that this does, minus the DualSense features. However, I fully get that not everyone wants to use the backbone. It's honestly uncomfortable for long gaming sessions. Some people have mini phones. I have a small iPhone 13 mini, and so I'd be using it with a small screen. And honestly, one of the biggest things that sold me on a PlayStation 5 was the DualSense controller and all of the features that are in it. And so honestly, with all of that said, the PlayStation Portal sounds like a slam dunk for me personally because those are things that I'm really caring about. However, the reason why I am still not sold on the PlayStation Portal is because I really don't need it. So I know that not everybody has access to an extra smart device to go alongside with your phone. Like in my case, I have an iPad, and so I don't necessarily need to use my phone for everything. The main reason why I don't need a PlayStation Portal is because I can just download the Remote Play app on my iPad and connect my DualSense controller that I already have and don't need to spend any extra money on, and literally game on the go by using my iPad and the DualSense controller. It literally gives me a dedicated device to be able to do Remote Play gaming, and I have my DualSense controller for all of the features, and it's honestly a little bit more comfortable because I can play with my iPad directly on my lap, I can set it up on a table, I can lounge back on the couch. I have so many other different seating configurations that I can do if I want to get more comfortable, whereas with the PlayStation Portal, I'm really kind of stuck just holding the whole thing in my hand. And so this gives me a lot of different options to get more comfortable, to play for a longer gaming session, and the thing that I'm physically holding is going to be significantly lighter than something like a Portal that I'm also holding the screen with the whole time. That's honestly the biggest reason why I just can't find the value in something like a Portal. I mean, I already have the iPad, I already have the DualSense. At this point, I literally don't need to spend any extra money to be able to play my games remotely. Now, if I were somebody that didn't have an extra smart device, I didn't have an iPad or a tablet, then something like the Portal would make a lot more sense. Now, personally for myself, I would rather spend the $100 on a Backbone controller and just get that remote play feeling that way, rather than spending $200 on something with a dedicated screen. But again, I know that not everybody is like that, and so that's why we have a lot of different choices and options to help fit whatever we're trying to accomplish with our gaming needs. And so because of that, I don't hate the Portal, I just don't think that it's necessary for myself and for a lot of other people that might have an extra smart device. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's your money. Spend the money on whatever you want, I really don't care. All that I'm saying is that for myself, I've found the value in using my iPad and my DualSense. I literally don't need to spend any extra money. And maybe you've looked into the Backbone, but you don't know if it's something that you're really interested in. Well, definitely check out this video where I reviewed the Backbone controller myself. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.